Have you ever wondered why the world's purest salt is pink, the color of rust? Does Himalayan pink salt actually come from the snow-capped peaks of Mount Everest, as its romantic name suggests? Does this vibrant, alluring pink hue truly hold a mysterious energy or unique health benefits, or is it all just a psychological effect? And more importantly, why are we willing to pay 10 times more than for regular white salt to own these stone crystals? Behind that luxurious facade, is there a geological story of oceans that vanished 250 million years ago, or is it simply a flawless marketing campaign? Let's audit the true essence of this pink gold.
I'm Edward. It's time to audit the essence of the ordinary on QC Project Simple Things.
We often assume whiteness is the ultimate symbol of purity, but in the geological world, the white color of table salt is actually the result of aggressive intervention. The everyday salt in your shaker has undergone extreme refinement to force sodium chloride, NaCl, molecules into a uniform ranks, stripping away every natural trace to create dry, free-flowing crystals. In contrast, pink salt is a structure invaded by history. Rather than a solitary NaCl lattice, it contains foreign elements like iron, magnesium, and calcium that worked their way into the architecture millions of years ago. A technical reality few notice: these minerals have altered the refractive index of the salt crystals. This is why pink salt never possesses the transparency or sharp clarity of refined salt. Light passing through it is scattered by these impurities, creating that hazy, vibrant, rosy glow on your shelf. This distinction doesn't begin with health promises. It begins with a silent geological invasion deep within the earth, in a place few would imagine when sprinkling these crystals over their dinner. We often look up at the snowy peaks when we hear the name Himalayan, but the true soul of this salt lies deep beneath the earth, within a structure known as the Khewra salt mine in Pakistan. This isn't just a natural cave. It is a massive, man-made fortress where nearly 400,000 tons of salt are extracted annually using an ancient architectural technique: room and pillar mining. Generations of miners haven't just carved out salt. They intentionally left behind massive salt columns, accounting for 50% of the area, to support the staggering weight of the mountain range above, creating a glowing pink labyrinth of solid towers. The true value of these crystals, however, isn't in the scale of the mine, but in temporal pressure. You aren't holding a modern ingredient. You are holding the remnants of an ocean that completely evaporated 250 million years ago, a time when the continents were still a single mass called Pangaea. As tectonic plates collided and forced the Himalayas upward, they simultaneously performed a geological sealing, crushing this ancient seabed beneath dense layers of sedimentary rock. Remarkably, under this immense pressure, the salt exhibited a rare physical property known as salt plasticity. Instead of fracturing like typical rock, these vast salt deposits flowed like an incredibly viscous fluid, self-sealing any gaps and locking minerals into the crystal lattice. This process of geological self-healing and encapsulation created an exceptionally stable, crystalline structure, perfectly preserving the purity of an era that never knew pollution or microplastics until the present day. When you strip away the marketing, chemistry brings us back to reality. Pink salt is still 98 to 99% sodium chloride, NaCl, making it nearly identical to the refined salt sitting in every kitchen. In blind taste tests, most people cannot tell them apart, and once dissolved into soups or sauces, any perceived flavor difference vanishes instantly. While trace minerals may lend a whisper of earthy character, this nuance is usually overwhelmed by the food itself. The health myth is even more persistent. Many believe pink salt is healthier because of its mineral content. While technically accurate, these minerals exist in microscopic quantities. The real issue is bioavailability. To absorb enough magnesium, potassium, or calcium from pink salt to impact your health, you would have to consume such lethal amounts of salt that the sodium alone would pose immediate cardiovascular risks. Whether the salt is pink, white, grey, or beige, it still raises blood pressure when consumed excessively and falls under the exact same dietary guidelines designed to protect heart health. Despite its appealing color and the aura of ancient purity, the nutritional benefits remain negligible. At the end of the day, pink salt is not a healthier alternative. It is simply a more aesthetically pleasing one. Beautiful? Yes. But better for your body? Not really. We often enter meditation spaces and are drawn to the soft amber glow of Himalayan salt lamps. Marketing often promises to release negative ions and purify the air, but when faced with applied science, these claims weaken quickly. Studies show that salt lamps do not meaningfully change ion levels or purify bacteria in any significant way to impact biological health. Yet, their value lies not in chemistry, but in spatial psychology. The warm light from the salt block triggers a sense of comfort in the brain, much like a candle or fireplace softens the tension in a room. It is a genuine visual therapy that makes us feel more grounded and peaceful, even if no molecular miracle is taking place. The transition from a decor item to a professional cooking tool is where salt blocks show their true strength. A little-known technical fact: thanks to their multidirectional crystal lattice, salt blocks possess the ability to retain and distribute heat remarkably evenly without fracturing easily like granite or ceramics. Searing a steak on a shimmering salt block is more than a technique. It's a performance. The power here is aesthetic and experiential, not nutritional. A salt block makes the dish look artistic and adds a subtle saltiness, but it won't significantly increase your mineral intake. Ultimately, the decision becomes simpler once the myths fall away. If your goal is everyday cooking, precision, and affordability, white table salt remains the most practical choice. If you want beauty, texture, and a visually striking finish, pink salt delivers that instantly. Choose it for flavor, presentation, or mood, but choose it with clarity, not with expectations built on wishful marketing. When standing before the spice rack, the real question isn't which one looks prettier, but which one actually fits your purpose. Although Himalayan pink salt has become a cultural phenomenon, it's vital to stay realistic. It won't detox your body, it won't cure disease, and it certainly won't replace medical-grade iodized salt, which is essential for thyroid health. In fact, the world of salt is far more diverse than just white and pink. Beyond these, you will find sel gris, grey salt from France with high moisture, or kala namak, black salt with its distinct sulfuric aroma. Relying on color alone is a common marketing trap. Instead, let your actual cooking needs make the difference. A deep technical insight few consider is the dissolution rate. Due to its coarse and dense crystal structure, pink salt dissolves much slower than refined white salt. This makes it an ideal finishing salt, creating bursts of flavor when you bite into undissolved grains on the food's surface. Conversely, white table salt, with its microscopic and uniform grain size, remains the king of practicality. It dissolves instantly and consistently, making it perfect for recipes where precision and affordability are non-negotiable. My final advice: don't choose salt based on hollow health promises. Choose it for the texture, the emotion, and the moment it brings to your table. Choose with clarity, because in the end, the simplest things often hide the most complex stories. I want to give you a tool so you're never misled by flashy advertising: the 10-second rule. When holding a jar of pink salt, don't just stare at its vibrant color. Instead, observe the consistency of the crystals. If, within 10 seconds, you see grains that are too uniform in size and carry a dull, chalky pink, it might just be refined white salt treated with industrial dyes. Genuine Himalayan salt must show natural tonal variation, ranging from pure white to pale orange and deep red, all within the same batch. Here is a sharp, little-known tip. Drop a few salt grains into a glass of plain water. If, in the first 10 seconds, the water begins to tint pink or orange, you are dealing with chemically dyed salt. Authentic Himalayan salt has zero dye solubility. Its minerals are locked deep within the crystal lattice, and the water must remain perfectly transparent even as the salt dissolves. Don't let appearances deceive you. Let clarity be your guide. Ultimately, the story of Himalayan pink salt isn't just a battle between marketing and chemical reality. It is a lesson in how we perceive the value of simple things. We are often obsessed with perfection, with refined white crystals processed into absolute uniformity. But sometimes the true value lies in the impurities. That rosy glow is evidence of time, a trace of a vanished ocean sealed by geological pressure for 250 million years. If you enjoyed this story about pink salt, tell us in the comments what simple thing we should explore next. Your idea might become our next episode.
I am Edward, and this is QC Project Simple Things. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the simple things in everyday life. Because what you see is never the whole story. There's always something deeper beneath the surface. See you in the next one.